Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibottom coming to you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers masterpiece, MP-30, none other than Ratchet. Finally, the Cybertronian medic comes to us, and I couldn't be more excited. Other than Wheeljack, Ratchet was probably my next favorite, mostly because, you know, as a doctor, he was also kind of a scientist kind of guy. And both he and Wheeljack were responsible for creating the Dinobots, which I actually love, so Ratchet definitely is a favorite of mine. As you can see for the box, it's a little bit bigger. It's the same size as the Ironhide one. You can see he's a Nissan Cherry Vanette, obviously painted up here to look like Ratchet, and you can see both his vehicle mode as well as his robot mode there. It is essentially just a repaint of Ironhide, but with a couple extra molded new pieces, you know, to get like the ambulance light bar and stuff on there. Come down here, you got various contact information. You can see that it's got that official Nissan logo right there. You got a nice image of the vehicle here on that side. This side, you got a nice image of a Ratchet in his robot form. Top part here says Masterpiece. Obviously, you got all that stuff. And then on the back here, you got all the various action poses. You have his accessories, how he scales with other Transformers. You have things like, more than likely, his bio, all the various things that I cannot read. So, package-wise, though, I mean, we are pretty used to it. It's the nice, sturdy construction. So, why wait any longer? Let's get this guy out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Ratchet open up and out of its packaging. And up first, like with all Masterpiece figures, you do get this nice collector card. You got a really cool artistic image here of Ratchet. It says MP-30, Cybertron Medic, Ratchet. You come around to the back, you got his various tech specs, an image of his vehicle as well as his robot mode, and then obviously his bio right up here. Now one thing that I will say is that he also does come with stickers. And this has kind of been a trend for Masterpiece figures that people have not really liked. I don't mind it really all that much, but I do get the argument that if you are paying a premium price for a premium figure, it would be nice if we got the figure with these logos already on here. What they give you, though, here is the option to kind of create different looking ones. Unfortunately, in terms of creating that, you know, shoulder cross look that he had, they had to put these little extra dots on the outside to fill that in, mostly because Red Cross really does cause a lot of problems for people if that use that kind of logo. So they put these little red blotches here to kind of fill things in, and then they changed it by also giving one that doesn't have those little sections at the top corners, but with Autobot logos. Now these are not how they looked in the cartoon. This is more how it looked in the cartoon, and what you can do is just, you know, use a X-Acto knife and cut that out, I guess. I mean, it's a pretty straight line, so you could cut it if you're pretty careful. But you can see you got two for the shoulders. You got one here that goes on the top in vehicle mode, and then you got two smaller ones that will go on the sides down here. I haven't put them on yet. I really haven't decided what I'm going to do with it. But you do have that for some options. And then you also do get his instruction manual, which give a real good description on how to do everything. You open it up, you got the images here of the front, back, and side, both vehicle mode, robot mode. You come around here to this side, and then it breaks down all of his different weapons, where they were in the cartoon, you know, where they can store in vehicle mode as well. You come around here to the back, and you got all the same instructions that Ironhide had. He transforms the exact same way, so if you know how to do that, it is the exact same transformation. There is one part that's a little bit different, but I'll touch on that here in a little bit. And then you got a section right down here that shows where all the weapons plug into his extra sled. And then, like I was talking about, you got the sticker placements right here. So really good instructions on the guy. Now, starting off first with this sled, you can see it's very similar to what Ironhide had. I don't have the Ironhide one here with me, but I want to say it's the same mold, and you can see you got a lot of extra holes on here that are probably where the, you know, Ironhide weapons initially would go, but a lot of this is kind of similar. You got the missile launcher right here. Just take this off. You can see that it can, much like with Ironhide, it can plug onto his back. You do have a separate missile that doesn't launch or anything, but you can have that like so. It's got a little articulation point right there, so you can swivel that around. So that's something that Ironhide came with as well, so you do get that. And then the other thing is this little guy right down here. This pegs in there very securely. This is his static laser gun, and like I said, Ironhide had this as well, and you can have him hold it. He's got the standard little slot thing right there, so you can plug that into his hand if you so desire. Get that right back on there. That actually sticks in there very securely. Now let's see, we got a little arc welder right here, which will attach to his hand. You got a little tab right there that it can plug into, and then you got this little section right here, and then you also get this little piece which is the little graphic thing for it. It can just plug right on there, and you can have him, you know, working on somebody if you want to. So it can plug into this bit as well as his little wrist one. So let me see, get that right back on there. I'll just leave that there. And then here's his little wrist, I guess they call it a repair beam emitter. This pegs on to the forearm. And again, I'll show this off here in a little bit, but that can peg in there as well. And you can have him utilize that as a weapon if you want to. I mean, it's all personal preference. You do get this, which, let's see, they call this the X-ray blaster. Real nice detail on here. I mean, all these weapons are the basic same. You got this nice silver paint, but you do have that one as well. You do have both of his blasters. This is the one where if people want to recreate the dual wielding when he's defending himself from being killed in the Transformer movie, you can have him utilizing these. There's a pew 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 pew, and both of those. You get a couple tools right here, so you get his little wrench kind of doodads. I guess they call them magno wrenches or something like that, but you do get two of those. And then you have a cyber spanner, is what they call this. Again, it's just a crazy looking tool that, you know, does whatever. And then you got this gun, which I think they actually refer to this as the laser scalpel. So if he's operating on somebody, you have that as well. And then, like you can see, it all pegs on here. You got the section right underneath here that pegs his extra face. It's more of an open mouth kind of look, maybe smiling a little bit, a happier kind of look for him. But that pegs right up underneath there, just like so. So it is nice that you get all these different weapons that do have a place for them. I mean, that was something that was really cool with Ironhide. I thought that was a brilliant idea, how they could actually take this entire thing and actually use something that the original G1 toy kind of had and repurpose it here. I thought that was just absolutely genius of them. It wasn't something that I honestly really anticipated them doing up front, but when it comes down to it, it turned out very, very well. And let's see, making sure I get all these kind of in the right area. I guess it doesn't really matter as long as you kind of position them in there. But I thought that was just a brilliant idea. It definitely paid nice homage to the original, and it gave a place to put all of his weapons. I think that was just absolutely brilliant. And then if you want to, like, you can store his guns. Come around here to the bottom, and you take these little guys, and they will peg underneath there, just like that, and just like that. And then you can take, I guess, any of these other ones if you want to. This little section right here, you can see that this is a newly molded piece. This piece, and it actually can tuck down, makes it a little bit easier to do this. So you can take that, and you can peg that right there if you want to. So you do get some extra weapon storage just in vehicle mode. This entire top section here is probably the most noticeable that was remolded. And yeah, you can see that it actually can collapse in there. And there's a reason for that. And that reason is for Masterpiece 10's trailer. With Ironhide, you can see it slides in there perfectly fine, but there's not much clearance there. If you have this little light bar on here, it doesn't go in there. I mean, you can get it in there, but it does rub against there because that's chrome. What they did was they actually made this collapse down, and you just kind of lock it into place. So you push it down and then you push it forward, and it slides in there perfectly fine, which is genius. I think that that's really smart. All these little weapons just popped out. So that's one thing that I really like that they changed in it. I'm trying to get these little weapons out of here. Come on, little weapons. Wedge you. There we go. That was really smart on their part. There really isn't a purpose to having it do that other than getting it to slide in the trailer. So as you can see, you can still use that functionality. And then for the comparison here we have him next to Ironhide. And just like you would, expect to see, he is obviously mostly just a repaint of Ironhide here. Now, you do get some molded parts that are a little bit different, mostly in the robot mode, but the primary part that you're going to see that's different is going to be the top section here with this light bar. I mean, everything else is, basically from the outside here looking at vehicle mode is exactly the same. Now, I do know that, like, for example, this piece right here was redone, but it's mostly redone on the opposite side where the robot mode actually shows. So you don't really see anything on the panels out here. But color-wise, I think that this looks really very, very nice. Obviously, I don't have the stickers yet on here, but that will make things a little bit more different. You have a nice white kind of, well, is that white? No, that is silver as well. And you do have that same type of detail here, although honestly this one looks a little bit smaller in terms of the Autobot logo. When you look at it next to each other, That does have a smaller look to it, so that's a little bit different. Much like the original one, you do have the ugly face in there coming in there. That's just an homage to the original G1 toy. I think it's great. I think it kind of blends in a little bit better with Ironhide here. That big white piece right there, you see it big time in terms of vehicle mode on this guy. So, you know, I mean, that does kind of stick out and kind of look a little bit ugly, but I don't think it really is all that bad. But size-wise, that's what you basically have for him. You do have a little bit a lighter of a coloring here for his actual windshield. You do have the taillights and everything. You got the nice chrome around the bumpers and things like that. You got the nice chrome up here for the headlights, much like Ironhide had. You got the same kind of silver hubcaps. You got the plastic tires like Ironhide. So yeah, really the only thing that changes much is the coloring on it. And then obviously you got the light bar there. Now for the transformation on this guy, because again, it is the exact same and we have seen it already, I am going to go ahead and skip it, but if you do need help with any of the instructions, my playlist for Masterpiece figures is available to you, so all you have to do is go and find Ironhide, and you can get all the same exact instructions to transform this guy, the same way that you transformed Ironhide. Even with the new addition here, it doesn't affect transformation whatsoever. You can tuck it in when you transform them. You don't have to. It doesn't really matter one way or the other. That's just a personal preference kind of thing, I guess. So because the transformation is the same, when we come back, we'll take a look at him in his robot mode. And I don't know what it is about this, but for some reason, I really think that this looks even better than Ironhide. Now, a lot of people pointed this out if they're on my Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, or anything like that, and if you're not following me, you should be. The links are down there. The whole section right here on Ironhide was kind of an eyesore, just because the colors didn't match really all that well. At least with this, though, it matches with his thighs, so I think it looks a little bit nicer and a little cleaner. But I don't know, I really think that this came out looking great. I almost like his head a little bit more than Ironhide's. One thing that I will say is my Ironhide, the whole head swapping thing really popped out very easily. This one actually stays in nice and securely. Your figure may vary. But one thing that I'm also seeing on here that some people are kind of talking about is that they have some paint slop on theirs. I don't really see any on mine. Mine is very clean, very smooth, and very silky looking. I'm really quite happy with how that actually looks. Some people were complaining because they don't like that the figure is actually painted white. There are some molded white parts, but I think that the paint actually is a better way of doing it. That way you get a more even color match with it. I mean, like, for example, if this was molded in white and this was painted in white, you would see a difference in the tone. I mean, that's just something that happens all the time. But by painting the majority of it, I think that they got a very nice flow from one section to another. Now, doing the comparisons right away, here he is with Ironhide, and right up front, the thing that you're going to notice the most is the head. The outer part of the head is remolded. Obviously, the face is a little bit, although the face kind of looks similar, but no, that is a little bit different as well. This is a little bit more tapered, whereas his is a little wider. Some of the other differences in terms of the molding is you're seeing here in the diaper area, you got the little diamond shape here, whereas this is just rectangular. And then on the thigh section here, you can see that he's got these lines that go through it, whereas Ironhide did not. And then on the opposite side here, on the outside of the leg, I should say, this whole section here have these lines on it. This is all smooth around. So you can see that even comes around here to the back where you got those little lines right there, and that's nice and smooth. Beyond that, in terms of molded differences, I don't really think that there is anything. The rest is just a white painted version of Ironhide. But yeah, I mean, you could just see that the way that these are here, it kind of just sticks out because you got the gray, or silver I should say, of his thighs and crotch area, and then you got the red for his legs and upper body, and it just kind of looks weird having those side panels there. This, because his legs are at least that color, I think it blends in a little bit nicer. Now, one thing that I don't particularly like is when you look head on here, because you have a darker, clear, lucent plastic for Ironhide's chest, you got that also here with Ratchet, but as you can see a lot of that junk that's inside there a little bit more. So that's definitely something that, with going with a lighter color for it, kind of hurts the overall look for it. That's one thing that I don't particularly like. You do still have the gimmick. With him, it's not the Dinobot thing. You get a little EKG meter that you can just come around, stick that in there, tuck that up, and you can have that on there, which looks pretty cool. I would imagine Repro Labels will probably come out with something that they'll probably put over there, but if you have that on there, it kind of covers things in and makes it look a little bit nicer. So you still have that as an option for display, which I think is great. I think that adding those small little touches like that while they're a little bit harder to get out are kind of cool, and it's fun to kind of play with that kind of stuff. Now, like I said, if you do have the stickers, I'm probably going to just cut those off. Like I said, you just take a little X-Acto knife, and while it's right on here, just line, just cut that right off, and then you can put that right on there, and that's where that's going to end up being. So you can get that cartoon accurate look as well. It's all just utilizing some cutting. If you don't want to cut that again, I'm fairly certain that Repro Labels will come out with a sticker sheet for this. They just released one for Ironhide, so I'm sure Ratchet wouldn't be too terribly far behind. Now for the rest of his accessories, like I said, you got his little missile section here that can come around here, peg in the back, just like so. You can do that just like it had in the original cartoon. Actually, did he actually do? I don't remember him actually doing that in a cartoon. He might have. I don't remember. And then you have these little welding torches and things of that nature. You got this little piece right here. So first off, if you want to use this on his forearm, you just have the hole right here. You peg that in just like so, and then you can take this and you can put that on there. Again, really cool extra display option for him if you want. Taking that out. If you want to put his other hand weapon, just close that, rotate that around, and that's where the little tab comes in. Take that, you put that right in there. Maybe that's upside down, I don't know. And then you take that and you can put that on there as well. So again, you got another hand weapon for him. He doesn't come with, one person I saw on TFW saying that he doesn't come with a lot of accessories. When you count like the face and all these weapons, he comes with, I believe it's 14. Ironhide came with 16, so it's not really like you're losing a heck of a lot in terms of some of the accessories. You don't get a lot of the extra hands that Ironhide came with, but honestly, I didn't care that much for him. You got his guns. Now, one thing that I'll say is, in bringing in my Ironhide again, unfortunately, the thumb on the right hand broke off because these, the way that they did these hands, get that out here, the thumb in the way that this tabs, you kind of have to go on an angle to get it in there, and it puts pressure on that thumb to get it all the way down, and in doing it at some point in time, and let's see, get that in there, unfortunately my thumb on him broke off. So you can do that, and you can do that with the other hand as well. I'm really kind of nervous about these, especially taking it out, because you put, like I said, that extra pressure on there. It just, it makes me nervous. There we go. Get that out. It's not something that I feel I'm going to be doing a lot of. So you do get those two guns. Just be careful when you're playing with them. The thumb definitely gets in the way. With these, you got the same exact kind of tab section here on the handles that these little guys have. So you can put these on here just like those other guns. And then the ratchets and things like that, literally you just have them hold it. And I mean, it makes sense. You know, he's Ratchet, so you have him hold a ratchet, right? I mean, come on, it's right. It's easy. I'm not very creative with my puns, but you know, I mean, Ratchet holding a ratchet. Hey, look at that! Look, I got tools. I mean, that's perfect for him. You know, I mean, he's always working on guys and fixing them and things like that. And then again, you got this laser torch or whatever it was that has the same type of handle as all the other ones. So all those accessories work great. The head swapping thing, this one, like I said, you basically just pull this forward. It tabs on a lot nicer than Ironhide's did, and it stays secure. One thing with Ironhide is it constantly pops off, especially when I'm transforming them. So in putting that on there, you get a little bit more of a smirk and an open mouth grin with him. I mean, Ratchet was always kind of a happy guy anyhow, so I mean, that kind of makes sense. I like that. I really do like the actual black crest for his head. That's definitely a cartoon accurate look for him, but I kind of like that more stern, serious look on there. Really great looking figure. Like I said, just for some reason, the color on this just stands out much nicer, I think. I don't know. His articulation, you got a head joint that can, or that's attached to a ball socket, so you can get a nice range of motion there. You can bring that down. I never did understand why you have a whole section that can go like that. Maybe so you can really get him looking down at his chest. I don't no idea. You got some nice softer ratchets here at the shoulders, but because of this section right here, when you rotate it around, it gets locked there. So you can't get a full 360 by keeping it in there. I mean, you have to angle it out to get it to rotate all the way around. But you can see you got nice heavier ratchet joints going in and out. Very stiff joints on this. That's one thing that I really like. The joints on Ratchet here are a lot more tight than what Ironhide's were. It feels really good. The shoulders here rotate, very stiff joints. You got a elbow joint right there as well. The wrists rotate. You can see that the fingers move at the main section of the knuckles. Come down here to the waist. You can rotate the waist around. If you don't have this tabbed in, now the original, real instructions have you having this down, having this tabbed in, just like so. I still don't like the way that looks, and that, well, no, the waist articulation is still there, but I like leaving these up, which does create some extra stuff in the back that the waist articulation can kind of bump into. So it's your personal preference. These little pieces here move forward, so you can move the legs forward and back. You can in and out just like so. This does kind of hinder some of that a little bit, but it does rotate also at the upper part of the thigh. He's got the softish ratchet joints down here at the knee, and he also rotates at the knee. The ankles have a tilt in and out, and you can also pivot them forward and back. So you get a nice range of motion with this guy. And I mean, just in general, I'm really quite happy with it. I was very happy with Ironhide. I was not a very big proponent of disliking him because of the way that the chest looked or anything. I think that Ironhide was a really good looking figure. Ratchet here, though, just like I said, for some reason, just looks nicer. I don't know, maybe it's because I like the character more or what. I really can't tell you. But I think that he came out very clean, very smooth looking. If you do have any paint issues or anything like that, I don't know if it's a widespread thing. I have seen a couple people have problems with it, but you know, if you do have the problems like that, you know, contact your retailer. Try to get a replacement. You pay this much money for something, you should get something that doesn't have problems. And most of the online retailers will work with you and get a replacement out to you or something like that. So if you have that problem, don't sit quietly. You know, get it fixed, get it taken care of so you can enjoy your toy. That being said, Ratchet here is available right now at Big Bad Toy Store. So if you're looking to pick this guy up, all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on this guy as well as the rest of the Transformer Masterpiece figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget to please like and comment, and be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you never miss a future review. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.